Hello, Pastor Deborah here of Love is Here, a voice in the darkness for you. Welcome. We are in episode number 3 of this podcast show here on YouTube and YouTube Music. This is going to talk about you, the hidden you, the real you. The you that I am speaking to, the one that's in a dirt body. Oh, there are many of you in there. But we have to understand who you really are. So welcome. And in this podcast episode, I'm going to talk to you about you. When I first began helping people, I discovered that just about 100% of us are people with multiple identities. I had one in me that was named Jan, who I created when I was in the 5th grade by announcing to my class that I was Jan. My family had called me Deb or Debbie. I had never been called Deborah. But Deborah would come alive and arise years later. But for most of my early childhood, I was Jan. And into my teenage years, my young adult years, and even into my early years of my marriage. So I know about the hidden us, the one who has many identities. Some of you have gotten it through child abuse, trauma, fear. It's called multiple personalities. Identities. The real you is 2. You have a soul that's made up of your biological brain, your chemicals, your hormones, and your biological body. There might be many of you in there, boys and girls, adults, children, infants. You might have a you that you show to me out on the cameras, and a real you that you only think about. But then you might have a you that's in your dreams. Then along with that you, Freud used to call it the unconscious or subconscious mind. You, who's connected directly to the biological body and the 5 senses. But I also want to talk to that part of you called the forever person, that you that lives on after death. Some of you desire to be reincarnated. Some of you desire to go to many different places. I'm going to talk to you about that one. You who I meet in your dreams, who I'm talking to right now. You who might be in the womb. You who might be in a coma, being abused. You that's hidden away deep in darkness. Deep in fear and trauma. You that might be many. So let's get to know ourselves. I had to learn that I was many, but I was one. I was one that was many. So in this podcast episode, number 3, let's take a look at ourselves. We are divided. We are a wonderfully made creature, a being that is capable of, if we think in our heart. What does that mean? Your mind. Whether it's your spiritual mind of your forever person or your mind of your biological body. It says if you can, whatever you think, that is who you are. Even if you don't do it. I'll give you an example. There was a young man years and years ago that was asking another man, a teacher, a master teacher, a question. And he was saying, look at that person over there. They're guilty of prostitution, adultery. And the master teacher said to him, I'm not looking for your outward deeds, but I'm looking at what your heart is thinking. So if you have already looked at something, desired it, wanted to have it, to have pleasure by it, to own it, even without ever touching it or attempting to get it. In your thoughts, in that you of your mind, you have already done it. You've already created it. Your thoughts are powerful. Your desires, your lust, your wishes, your hopes, they are all powerful. Then there's the other you, the forever person, the one that I run into right here on the podcast show. You could be driving your car, flying in an airplane, standing in line, sitting somewhere. And I'm talking to both you in the biological body, you that Freud called the subconscious you, the you that's probably many but one, and to you, little one, the forever person, hidden away in darkness, ignorance, fear, and torment, and another realm that only special people with special gifts, called the gift of discerning of spirits, can see and hear and know that you are there. I have done this ministry for many, many years. I might be talking to you on the telephone, and I might have hundreds, if not thousands of people listening through one person. One person can be Grand Central Station. You who are listening to this podcast or watching the video, you could have many people listening through you in the realm of the spirit. So I am used to this. You may not be, but many of you are. And that's who I'm talking to. And I'm going to bring to you a voice of love so that you will have hope. You will arise up out of your cells, your fear, your torment, and that you will begin to live a new life in the light. My voice will be a light to you. It will shine a path to walk. I will bring hope to you in these episodes from this podcast called Love is Here. So who is the hidden you? It's your third part, your spirit part. You have another part called your soul. Sometimes people get these two mixed up, but I don't, and neither really do you. But it's all in one body, the physical body. But are you aware of that the forever you, the spirit you, can travel out of your body? You can go into other bodies. You travel around all the time. Did you know when you're sleeping, your spirit is awake? And it's traveling out in the realm of the spirit. That's where I'm at right now. So I'm introducing you that you have many inside of there. Through abuse, trauma, life circumstances, as children, as teens, as young adults, we will create another to take our place. Just as I did in the 5th grade. I declared I was not Deb or Debbie, but Jan. And Jan developed into a horrible creature that had to die one day, so Pastor Deborah could arise. You have many just like me. Our parents called us names, baby names. Maybe if you were born a boy and your mother wanted a girl, you might get a girl's name. Many of us were dressed in different types of clothes. Many of you are having issues what kind of gender you are. You don't really know. And you're trying to match up your soul and your feelings with your physical body. Or you're trying to change your physical body to match up with your feelings and your thoughts. Very confusing out there. I've sat in your support groups, the transgenders. I've been in your board of directors meetings. I love you so much. My very first entrance into helping people was I'd start working with heavy metal music musicians, drug cartels, gangs. religious cult, Satanist, witches, the occult. Then I graduated to working with people in religion of all kinds. I am very well experienced in helping you to understand yourself and to reach you right now. Oh, I know you're afraid. Oh, I know you live in trances and hypnotic states. I know your eyes aren't really open, but your ears are beginning to hear. Your body's beginning to be touched gently by some voice, and it feels as if a warm blanket is just laying on you. I know you're there. I have worked with you. I've worked with your parents, your grandparents, and I'm working with many right now. You, the hidden one in the physical body of dirt. You, the hidden you, the one nobody really knows. Oh, you put on a good front to us out here, because you don't want us to really know who you really are. You might be a gang member, but inside you're a lonely, lonely child, seeking love and protection. You might be a movie star, seeking admiration, acceptance, but really, you're alone. You might be a president, a prime minister, a king, a crown prince, and your life is not what you thought it would be. There's no love there. There's always temptation and greed, backstabbing, fear, wanting legacies, always looking but never finding. When I began my work, I was given a precious child named Amanda. She had multiple personalities. She grew up in Satanism. She was a child of her mother and her mother's brother. Her mother's name was Deborah, and her father's name was Isaac. They were from the clan of the Black Forest, which is now disbanded. She grew up in horrible abuse. But God brought her into my life, and through her, I was able to touch many people around the world. I'm at work, even when you're sleeping. I'm at work in dreams. My voice can travel. Oh, and I can even travel in the spirit. I've gone many places. Yes, and I'm going to help you to find what your heart is really looking for. A spiritual mother, one that can cuddle you, hold you in her arms, and look in your eyes and tell you you are loved, you are wanted, you are beautiful, you are not a dragon, you are not a flame of fire, you are not horrible. That's all the other parts of you. And you have many, and I can talk to all of them. I can talk to the little children, the babies who can't even talk. I can talk to your protectors inside of you. And I am aware of that there are some evil things that are also a part of your life. And we can take care of that also through this podcast show, Love is Here, a voice in the darkness. In the next episode, I'm going to read to you some things I wrote so you will be comforted. Then I'm going to read to you a true story, a true poem that Isaac wrote to me when he was finally touched by love. Then I'm going to read you a story about Owl and how Agape Love touched a life. So you come back in episode number 4 to Love is Here, the voice in the darkness with Pastor Deborah. And I'll see you and your many next time here on the video and on YouTube Music. So you be encouraged. You're not alone anymore. Love is Here has come. Bye. This is Pastor Deborah, your spiritual mother.